And in further fallout from the attacks by Israel in the U.S., Iran's state news agency said earlier this week that more than 700 people have been arrested inside Iran on suspicion of acting as agents for Israel. On June 13th, the Israeli spy agency Mossad released this footage of what it said were Mossad agents operating inside Iran. Israel's attacks that began that same day killed a number of senior officials and nuclear scientists. Iran also recently executed 2 Iranians for allegedly spying for Israel. Well, for more, I'm joined now by Hussein Baoumi. He is Deputy Regional Director for the Middle East North Africa at Amnesty International, and he joins us now from Brussels. It's good to have you on the program. You know, we just saw the footage from Israel claiming that to show Israeli agents operating in Iran. We're going to play that again for our viewers. I just want to ask you, what were your thoughts when you saw this video?
Thanks for having me, and good afternoon to you and your viewers. So what I can say is that we are deeply concerned with news that we have seen so far. So what we have seen is that Iranian authorities, in what seems to be a bid to install fear and control the population, have arrested hundreds of people so far over accusations that range of espionage to collaboration with Israel. Now, I want to be clear that these terms are extremely vague, and from what we know and what we have seen, this can include things as, for example, posting a tweet that's critical of the government, or taking a photo of an attack site, or even being at the wrong time and then being arrested and then being subjected to torture or enforced disappearance in order to give forced confession. Iran has a long history of using these moments to basically project strengths against the population. And we also know that given the statements that has been by Iranian officials, that there is a drive to expedite trials and to show quote-unquote results. These results has culminated in the execution of at least 6 men, and they were executed after a 10 minutes trial in front of revolutionary courts on the basis of forced confessions over, again, vague charges of espionage and collaboration with the enemy.
Let me ask you about these reports. There have been reports from human rights groups in the past days of roundups with potentially hundreds of arrests and detentions. Do you have any new information on the numbers, and what are those people who are being detained, what are they being charged with?
Sure. So what we know for sure is that hundreds of people, and the reason it's not possible at this stage to come up with a complete number, because another element of the Iranian authorities' repression that has happened also in the aftermath of Israel's attack, which is restricting access to the internet. So in the aftermath of the Israeli attacks, what we saw is that Iranian authorities restricted the internet across most of the country. They have restricted a number of communication tools. And of course, there is a long history of repressing critics or people who would be able to share information and human rights defenders. Still, we were able to collect some of the photo or some of the picture of what's happening in the country. And it's really quite a vague charges that are being brought against people. People who are being arrested are forcibly disappeared. That is, they are held in places where families or lawyers are unable to contact them. And then they are forced to confess to any charges that they are being accused of. The Iranian authorities have also been accusing them. So when it goes to trial, they accuse them of enmity with God, because under Iranian law, espionage is not a charge that you would be convicted to this with. So that's why they accuse them of this different charge in order to be able to convict them and sentence them to this. Now, I need to stress here 2 things: that we at Amnesty International, we oppose the use of the death penalty in any circumstances, but also under international law, espionage or collaboration with the enemy is not a charge that can be punished by death. And such punishment, even if the trial was fair, which is not the case, even then that would not justify the use of the death penalty in these cases.
Hussein Baoumi, we appreciate your time and your insights today. Thank you.